Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on and do a you and them. So you're going to be on this side and your person is going to be on this side, and you might find that you resonate more with this side. So just take those messages if that's your side, and you'll know if you're resonating with the energy once I start getting into it. And if you're not resonating with it, it just means it's not your reading. I do channel different collectives, so you'll know if it's for you, is what I'm hearing. So I felt called to start with animal cards. We have the owl, so you could be highly intuitive. You could even be clairvoyant, is what I'm hearing. Also, if you want to take a moment to ask your spirit guides or spirit for certain signs to ensure this is your reading, you can go ahead and think of, a symbol or an animal or a couple. And see if they come out. So let's get into it. Right away, I'm feeling Phoenix energy. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm on fire all of a sudden. All right, so I'm just gonna shuffle one more time. I thought I'd pull all the cards on camera today. I mean, I usually do, but sometimes I do it before I hit record, but today I wanted to do it all on camera. So I hope everybody survived the full moon. The energies were intense. We have the vulture. So the vulture, very misunderstood creature is what I'm hearing. So you could both be, misunderstood people. I also saw the turtle. And when I see the turtle talks about, gathering life experiences underneath your shell. So you and your person both could have had, trauma that you've been through in your life or life experiences, obstacles that you've been through in your life. But the vulture talks about purification. And it reminds me of the Temperance card where, maybe there was an imbalance in this connection or maybe it wasn't working. So there had to be an ending. The vulture card says what you thought was a tragedy was actually a blessing in disguise. So the fact that this is actually one of my favorite cards. We have the zebra underneath. So the fact that that's bottom of the deck energy, I feel is symbolic. That's air energy. So you could both be thinking about this connection right now. When in balance, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic and aggressive. So that's what I was hearing with the turtle. That both of you could have, this could have been a triggering connection, especially with the shadow being dramatic and aggressive. Again, could have been very triggering. But when in balance, it's upright, clarifies, reveals wisdom. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is actually a blessing in disguise, essential for rebalance, guardian and purifier. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. And when the vulture appears, there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. And just thinking about how the tarot cards fall, I'm thinking of the Hanged Man, a pause or a sacrifice in love in order for growth and enlightenment and new perspectives, leading to transformation. And I was feeling that Phoenix energy. Leading to temperance, balance. Temperance also talks about needing to be patient. So I feel this is a situation that you've needed to be, patience was needed. Temperance also talks about healing and divine timing, not being able to rush things. And to bring into balance, clean your space. So you could be someone who's, both of you could be, cleaning up your own lives is what I'm hearing. But let's get your energy. So show me the viewer. Show me the viewer's energy, please, Spirit. Show me the viewer's energy. We have the bee. Okay, we have two cards. We have the nightingale on the bottom. So the bee, you could be isolated from this person right now. The fact that this bee is in a little bubble, and the body language of the bee is facing this way. So you could be spending a lot of time working right now or creating something, especially with the nightingale on the bottom. It could have to do with writing, poetry, sharing your voice, singing, that writing. Did I already say writing? But the B card always reminds me of like community and work. But again, there's like this little protective bubble around the B. So you could also be being protected from this connection right now. Remember the vulture on the bottom, what you thought was a mistake or a tragedy is actually a blessing in disguise. And I'm hearing divine protection. I'm also hearing rejection as protection, more air energy. And we have the fire ant, very interesting. So the fire ant talks about rigid thinking, and it talks about, I'm going to pull out the book, but it does talk about rigid thinking. So you could be overcoming some rigid thinking or programmed thinking, black and white thinking. This could be a connection where you need to rely on your intuition rather than your logical brain, is what I'm hearing. There could also be outside opinions about this connection with the fire ant, because if you look, we have all of these ants surrounding the ant in the middle. So this could be a connection that, your friends don't really understand. And this one also talks about aggression. So you could be someone who, remember the vulture, dramatic and aggressive. Again, this could have been a connection that was very triggering, and it could have triggered some of your shadows, some of your reactions, I'm hearing. And the fire ant says it's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances. So there's something about something not being in balance within this connection. And when I think about balance and I think about temperance and I think about the scales of justice, which also talk about imbalance, one thing I'm hearing is you could have been an overgiver, and maybe part of the lesson of this connection was that you were attracted to this person and it fed into some sort of imbalance where maybe this person wasn't giving back to you, and it was meant to teach you about learning not to overgive. It also says you may find yourself stewing on a person or situation, making matters worse. And remember, I kept talking about air energy and being in your head and outdated thinking. So it feels like whoever you are, you do overthink about this person, and you could be stewing about a situation or an ending that happened between you and feeling, you could be struggling with resentment or bitterness towards this person. It is in the upright. So when in balance, thoughtful and disciplined. So how can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive, so you could be a very sensitive soul. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. So the timing of this could be really getting to you, and you may be losing patience with that energy of temperance. Or it could be that there is something that happened between you and this person that is unresolved. And instead of, masking and pretending, what I'm hearing? I'm hearing like this could be a situation where something happened between you and you're trying to keep a positive mindset and you're trying to like positive thinking, but it doesn't mean that you can't be hurt by what happened. I feel like with this fire ant card, there is something that you need to kind of feel to heal, even if that is resentment. And I know in some of my readings, it can be confusing because I talk about don't hold on to resentment, but that doesn't mean like sweeping things under the carpet. When you, and I saw the shark card, so if you have feelings that you need to feel and you have something unresolved with this person, but you're you're afraid to feel it because you don't want to, block your energy or make things worse. When you shove that down without feeling it and releasing it and healing it, it just keeps bubbling up. It's not like it goes anywhere. It's not like when you shove it down, it just disappears. So if you are feeling resentful or upset about an unresolved issue with this person, I do suggest like journaling about it and feeling your way through it so that you can release those feelings. To bring into balance solo time. So there's something about, there's something, again, with the B, I don't feel like you're in contact with this person. I hope that makes sense. So clearly you were attracted to this person and this situation was very imbalanced, but it was meant to help you perhaps heal that out and realize what you really deserve, is what I'm hearing. So let's look at the B. The B, earnest, hardworking, democratic. So it feels like you are spending time on work right now. So you could even be distracting yourself with work, trying to avoid, like, there's something unresolved here which you're stewing about with the fire ant, but instead of feeling those emotions and, remember the nightingale is on the bottom. So there is something about, like, I'm hearing journaling about it instead of pretending that you're not feeling bitterness about it. I'm hearing like write about it, get it out of your body, get it out of your head onto paper or onto an app on your phone, like a notes app. Just get it out of you so that you can process those feelings. But with the B, you could be, anyway, I can't help myself. You could be distracting yourself with work, and I understand that. But it's almost like Spirit's saying you need to process whatever this unresolved resentment or aggression is. Like I said, with the B, you could be trying to, instead of thinking about that, you could be trying to distract yourself with work. So the B, to bring into balance a mini vacation. So there's like this theme of you, spending time alone right now, cleaning your space, solo time, mini vacation, mini break from this person. And maybe instead of distracting yourself with work, you should, if you are able to, you could take a weekend to really sort through these feelings, is what I'm hearing. So the B is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, so both of these cards talk about sensitivity. So I feel like you're a very sensitive soul, aware of many subtleties at once. They're artists at heart. They usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have a bustling, joyous personality until they are too tired from all the work, and then they gripe and then sting. So be careful you're not overworking right now. Be careful you're not running yourself into the ground, is what I'm hearing. So hopefully that makes sense. But when in balance, and it is in the upright, content, active, vibrant. So you could be feeling very content and active within your career, but then you still have these unresolved feelings, or you're still stewing about this person from the past. And again, there seems to be some sort of theme of an imbalance. So let's get your person's energy. And I do shuffle. That's really good. The frog, releasing, cleansing, healing. I do shuffle in between just to get your person's energy into the cards. So let's look at your person's energy. person's energy. Very positive cards on your person's side. But we'll see what comes out. All right, so your person's energy. We have the zebra again. All right, so let's see your person's energy. I'm going to get 2 for them as Spirit, come on. We have the fox. That is so strange because I don't know if you noticed what just happened, but I noticed this fox was turning away from the table. It was facing like into the ball. So before I shuffled your person's card, I just turned this fox to face out. That's really interesting to me. So this is actually really positive. The fox is about, in the reverse, the shadow aspect of the fox is sneaky and unsure of own identity, but it's in the upright. So that's actually really good. And it talks about becoming a strong partner or mate. So I don't know what else came out for your person, but that looks positive. We do have the firefly in reverse. And the firefly talks about, you know, little, like, I'm seeing the Ace of Wands, you know, little flashes of intuition, little flashes of inspired action. But if you don't act quickly, the moment passes. So it feels like your person, it's like their intuition is flickering, but maybe they're not listening to it yet. We have the beaver. That's good. Working on their stability, working on their structure. This could be someone who puts family first. And we have the swan. Okay, this is all really good too, with the exception of the firefly in reverse. So this is actually really good too. So the swan, solo time. So you both have cards about solo time. And I am hearing some of you may resonate more with this side, which is interesting. But the swan, there's a lot of reflection going on. There's a lot of solo time, reflection. And as I was talking about the firefly and this person needing to learn how to trust that inner firefly that's flickering, the swan talks about needing to connect with your inner voice. So it does feel like this person is trying to, I don't know if they're trying or the universe is trying to get them to connect with their inner knowing and their intuition. Again, the beaver can sometimes put family first. They're very, like, family comes first. And the beaver also talks about meaningful work. So there's something about work on both sides here. It feels like your person could be very focused on their job, but there's also, you know, solo time so that they can tap into their inner knowing. So they have water and air, and you have fire and air. So let's look at the firefly first. The firefly comes right before the bee. Burnt out feels dull. The firefly in reverse. So yeah, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. But this person feels burnt out, feels dull. So it does feel like they're going through something right now. And I think that what they don't understand is it's meant to kind of guide them into an awakening. I'm seeing the 10 of Wands. So it's like the universe is placing wand after wand after wand on their back, trying to get them to awaken, because clearly they're not hearing the calls from the universe or their higher self to awaken. That's interesting. Also, whatever they do for work or family, they could be feeling very burnt out. So if this is someone who does a lot for their family or gives a lot to their family, they're feeling very burnt out and dull. If this is someone who's spending a lot of time working, they're feeling burnt out and dull. And I feel like it's almost like they're being guided into reflection so that they can tap into their inner truth, their inner knowing. So let's look at the other cards for you. Swan. Solo time. Oh my gosh. They all say solo time. So clearly there's separation here. So this potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the Swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention. And that's exactly what I mean. There's a reason that the universe keeps placing wand after wand on them. It's so that they wake up and pay attention to their soul. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. So it's almost like they're being guided into reflection, and so that they can tap into that intuition and harness it. Because clearly this person was getting like, I'm seeing someone who's getting like signs and synchronicities from the universe, but is ignoring them. And someone who's getting like little flashes of inspiration from their higher self or their inner voice, but they were ignoring it. So it's like the universe is trying to guide them into hermit energy, is what I'm hearing. I don't even need to look at the beaver. I already know. And it's funny because you also have that energy where you know, it feels like you're working a lot, but maybe you might also have the tendency to overwork or push yourself too far. All right, so let's get the next deck. What deck do I want to go with next? Let's get this one. All right, so I'm just going to get a card for each of you. We have the Fates, Fated Connection. This also, the imbalance, right? The fire ant. This person could have prioritized their family or their work over you, is what I'm hearing. That's an interesting card to get, Deep Knowing. This one is about two souls are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. All right, Unfinished Symphony. So it feels like there's, again, there's no closure here. There's something unresolved, something unfinished between the two of you. Exchanging gifts talks about balance and reciprocal energy. All right, so we're gonna get one for you. Show me the bee. You could really like insects. We have To the Sea. And look at this person on a boat by themselves. This card is about not controlling the situation, but seeing how it plays out and focusing on your own journey. And we have TikTok. So divine timing is definitely at play here. I just want to look at TikTok to see if there's anything. You could create content on TikTok is what I'm hearing. So love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. So remember the Temperance card, divine timing. So this is really out of your hands is what I'm hearing. All you can do is focus on you right now. This is out of your hands. This one. There are points when you have to decide to go with the flow rather than dictate the course you share with another. Can you let go of the need to have things your way and allow this to unfold naturally? Can you both transcend your personalities and allow the partnership to form its own identity, its own energy? Now is the time to relax and see where this journey leads. And like I said, we have this person alone in a boat. And this person looks like they have paper. So there's something, again, you could be stewing about an unresolved issue with this person. And I keep hearing, like, get it out on paper, journal that out, talk through those thoughts. I'm hesitant to say with a friend, unless you have a trusted friend who, what I find a lot of the time in this community is that while we are spiritual, and I hear this all the time in my comment section, while we are spiritual and believe in these, soul contracts, a lot of the people we're connected to don't. So, by talking to friends who don't believe in it, and I have to say, friends are doing what they feel is best. They're giving us the advice because they want what's best for us. But some of the advice you're getting, fire ant, could be making the situation worse for you. And so if you don't have a friend that you can talk to about this, do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you talk to a friend who doesn't understand this, it almost like it adds fuel to the fire. They feed your fire, they feed that drama. So if you don't have someone like that you can talk to, write it down. But it definitely feels like you're in a situation where you just kind of have to see where this goes, let it unfold naturally. You can't force it. And there's something about divine timing here. And if you're awakened and this person is unawakened, you can't force them to awaken. And I feel like the universe is working very hard to help this person awaken. So just trust the universe. Let the universe do its thing, is what I'm hearing. So let's get one for your person. I just saw a message, so I do feel like your person is seeing signs and synchronicities about you. Time for a nap, solo time. Time for a nap. Look at the fox. So I feel like this solo time, this rest period, is helping your person overcome some of that energy. The dolphin's underneath the fox, if you were asking for a sign. A change in the wind. That's good. All right, so your person's energy. We have higher power. Yes, the firefly, the inner voice, the higher power. Yes. So your person is meant to be connecting with their higher power right now. They're meant to be awakening. They're meant to be going through this awakening. And like I said, if you're awakened, you can't force someone else's awakening. You can't control when they awaken. You just kind of have to allow it to happen. Very interesting. All right. And look at the little, that's a flashlight. Just similar, very similar to the firefly. All right, so your person's energy. Show me their person's energy. We have fates, fated connection. So, 17. Other people are who they are. You can't change them. The challenge is to accept them as they are and to not try and make them otherwise suit you. This is your person's energy. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit your view of how they should be so that you can remain in the relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are and whatever is happening between you and them in this situation is perfect from the perspective of spirit? So I do feel like this person does feel like there's something fated about this connection, and whatever is happening to your person right now, even though you may be stewing about it and upset with divine timing and feeling a little impatient, and maybe you're upset because there was an imbalance here, this connection, it was meant to teach you both something, and I feel like it was meant to teach this person about prioritizing things other than work over love, is what I'm hearing. Each of us are on our own journey. We cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is indeed fated, and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. And right now, this person could be being guided to not reach out to you right now. They could be being guided to, I'm not even going to say they could be. They're being guided to not come towards you right now. And they're being guided to go within and awaken. And again, you're both meant to evolve into better versions before coming back together. So just remember the vulture card. What you thought was a blessing or a tragedy. No, what you thought was a mistake or tragedy is actually a blessing in disguise. And I actually feel like I should just go like that, because I feel like both of you need this solo time and need this time to reflect and tap into your inner wisdom. And that feels more balanced to me, because even that's giving me that energy of the scales are tipped towards this person. So I do feel like your person wasn't giving as much to this connection, if I'm being honest. All right, so let's get you one last deck before we get to tarot to see what's coming. So we'll just get a card for each of you from this deck. Rest and reconsider. I just saw strengthening bonds, so it feels like this rest period, this solo time, is actually strengthening your bond with your higher power, both of you, strengthening the bond with yourself, and even strengthening the bond between you. All right. So we'll do you first. We have High Priestess. Listen, like it couldn't be any more clear. Froggy in my throat, releasing, cleansing, healing. But this is about tapping into your inner knowing. This is about tapping into your intuition, trusting your intuition. Someone could have an amethyst necklace. We also have very green eyes there. So High Priestess energy, trust your intuition. Very quiet energy. All right. And this, whatever you're stewing about in the past, could be blocking your inner voice and your intuition, is what I'm hearing. So let's get a card for you. That came out so quick. We have the Five of Swords in reverse. So releasing resentment. Releasing self-sabotaging behaviors, releasing, the overthinking, being in your mind, releasing self-limiting beliefs. This is very good. And look, I knew I mentioned Hanged Man energy for a reason. We have Hanged Man energy here. Observe. So observe. Don't fight the feelings of resentment. Don't fight the feelings of anger. Don't fight the feelings of sadness. Observe those feelings. Feel them. Let them out. Surrender to those feelings so that you can heal them, is what I'm hearing. So Hanged Man energy, a sacrifice in love in order for growth and enlightenment. And that's exactly what this is. Like I said, it looks to me like this needed to happen so that you could both tap into your inner knowing, but especially for your person, it feels like this happened so that they could wake up. so that they could go through their awakening. My book's upside down, so I'll just read you the Five of Swords in reverse. That card has been coming out a lot. So reconciliation, resolution, compromise, revenge, regret, remorse. So you could be feeling a little, like, I'm not saying you're seeking revenge on this person, but your greatest revenge is to heal. Your greatest revenge is to evolve, is what I'm hearing. It does talk about a breakup. Five of Swords in reverse. It talks about a breakup. It also talks about forgiveness. So this card can show up when the asker is feeling unfocused in their energy or is not making progress despite their constant efforts. The asker is encouraged to be patient with themselves and focus on taking small, consistent steps in the direction they are hoping to go towards. And this card also shows up when the asker is having trouble moving on from someone in their life. So it does look to me like you want reconciliation with this person. That's what you're hoping for. But it looks like you're having a hard time releasing it. And again, that fire ant stewing about an unresolved issue from the past. Yeah. And Hanged Man energy talks about, I already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. Sacrifice, waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction, perspective, contemplation. At present, a period of trials has come into your life which indicates the need to learn some lessons. You are going through a transition period, realizing that you are stuck halfway between the old and the new. So it kind of feels like you're in limbo right now. It also says love can't be rushed. Avoid romantic pressure. So you can't rush this process. You can't control what's going on with your person right now. This card is associated with waiting and suspension. It suggests that waiting might be the thing to do in order to achieve success or wait for the right opportunity. So again, Spirit's saying all you can do, and I'm not talking about waiting and not doing anything, but focus on the lessons you're supposed to be learning right now. Focus on releasing resentment towards this person and getting out of your head. Maybe even, focusing on some of your own self-sabotaging behaviors. Everyone has self-sabotaging behaviors, and it can be as simple as, and I'll just use cookies for an example. Everyone has self-sabotaging behaviors, and anybody who says they don't, maybe they don't know what self-sabotaging behaviors are, because it can be as simple as, I know I need to stop eating so many cookies, and then you keep eating cookies, even though your brain, even though your mind knows, maybe I'm eating too many cookies. Or, we can use smoking as an example. You know that smoking's not healthy and you should quit smoking, but you keep smoking. So that's like a very simple example of how simple, not simple, but it's an example of how that's an example of a self-sabotaging behavior that maybe we don't look at as self-sabotage. Anyway, that's you. I just want to see if there's anything on here. So, observe. I'm just going to read this to you. A new understanding around matters of the heart is waiting to be revealed to you. Be still and observant. Now is not the time to take action. Instead, take a step back and wait. Reflect upon the relationship. What is really happening? Release the need or desire to direct the relationship and simply go with the course of events. It's so symbolic of that To the Sea card. When you surrender to the experience, you'll learn a great deal and ultimately get what you truly need. Sometimes it's in releasing that we discover what we really need as opposed to what we think we need. Trust the process, have faith in the journey, and let go of the outcome. Although forward progress may appear to be slow, now is the time for patience. All things come in the appropriate time and cycle. Progress in improving this relationship will happen when the time and energies are right. When you're open and receptive to the needed change, it will happen. During the process of simply observing, you can also gain a new perspective on your situation. How might you think differently about it? Look at your relationship through the eyes of an impartial stranger. What insights might that stranger offer you? Listen to the observations with an open mind and heart. By taking a fresh look, you'll bring in the energies of awareness and transformation. Very nice. All right, so let's see your person. Find balance, your person. I definitely think they need to find balance because I feel like, again, this is someone who prioritized, I think, possibly work, but all right, let's look at your person's energy. Oh, the Chariot. So your person's energy. My dogs are freaking out right now. We have heal. This is really good for them. That's star energy. Releasing attachments, releasing the things that keep them stuck. Crown chakra awakening. Yes, higher power. Yes. My dogs are going to be loud for a little while. So, crown chakra, the element of thought. The crown chakra, the 1,000-petaled lotus, or the receiver of light. This chakra is at the center of your link with the universe, the infinite, and your higher consciousness. It is the connection between wisdom and spiritual insight. The crown center is the area where ethereal light and energy are received and then dispersed throughout your aura for total well-being. So they're definitely going through an awakening, or they're being, like I said, they're being guided. I don't want to say pushed, but they're being guided into an awakening. And then I just want to look at 17, because this is what you can't see, is what I'm hearing. Forgive, offer, receive, serenity, hope, inspiration. A peaceful, healing energy surrounds you. This is an ideal time to bring healing to your relationships and realize your hopes and dreams. This card could be presenting itself to ask you, isn't it time for forgiveness? Understand that no human can ever be perfect. This person could have even unfairly blamed you or been trying to mold you to fit their view, or trying to get you to conform rather than compromise. By accepting this, you're in a position to forgive yourself and those with whom you're involved. Forgive freely and without reservations, as blame and resentment are heavy weights to bear. And that's what I said. They could have even blamed you, said you were the problem. It also talks about open, non-judgmental dialogue with others, sharing what you've learned and how you've grown. By doing so, you'll encourage others to practice forgiveness. With the hope for the future, relationships can blossom. Please know that by forgiving yourself and embracing a hopeful spirit, you invite relationships into your life. So it's almost like this person also has to forgive themselves. At the same time, be willing to the blessings that others have to offer you. Be open to their insights and guidance. Listen objectively to what others have to say and act upon that guidance if it feels right to you. Be receptive to divine inspiration as well. Yes. Heal yourself. That's what this card is about. So your person is definitely being called to heal themselves and to awaken. And 1717. So 17 could be symbolic. All right. So your person's energy. We have the Four of Wands. So working on their own stability, working on their structure. And we have balance. Yes. This is really good. How many times did I say the Temperance card? So right now your person is working on their healing, their balance, and their stability so that they can become a stronger partner or mate. That's good. That's good. They're balancing their feminine and masculine energies as well. That's good. So let me just look up Temperance and see if there's anything you need to hear. Balance is important in all aspects of life, but is especially important in relationships, both with others and yourself. This card suggests that you need to examine your relationships and see if they are truly in balance, your person. A healthy relationship should include time to be together as well as apart. Take some time in peaceful solitude to renew your acquaintance with yourself. I almost feel like this person was not giving to you, but over giving to others, if that makes sense. Acknowledge what you bring to the relationship and what your partner brings. Ensure that you both play an equal role and that no one person dominates. Compromise is required for this relationship to be harmonious. Be willing to give and receive. By finding the middle ground, you'll help ensure that your needs and the needs of your partner are met. Compromise also includes accepting that people are individuals with different personalities and ways of looking at the world. Embrace your differences. Rejoice in your similarities. If you find yourself at odds, be willing to work through issues honestly and with love, confident that your differences can be resolved. This is an excellent time to help heal discordant relationships, bringing them into better balance. So clearly something was out of balance here with that vulture. I knew it when I saw that vulture. So I wish I could go back in time and see if that card was crossing. I wish I could go back in time and see if that card was crossing the Four of Wands, because I almost feel like it was crossing. I'm being called towards a reversal of the Four of Wands, so let's just have a look. Lack of support, instability, lack of roots, home conflict. Conflict between family. Insecurity. And they're in a period of transition, your person. My guides are telling me definitely telling me the reversal of that Four of Wands. So I'm going to trust in that. All right, so that's you and them. So let's get tarot and see. I'm hearing, what is the future of this connection? So the first cut, Six of Cups. Look at the little froggies. There's also ladybugs, mushrooms, leaves. Look at the little two froggies coming back together after releasing, cleansing, and healing. This tarot deck is called the Heartwood Tarot by Oak, Ash, and Thorn. They have a website, Oak, Ash, and Thorn. We have the Five of Pentacles. Look at the fox. So isolation, being left out in the cold. Yep. And we have strength. So we're going to do a you and them here. Except with tarot, I don't shuffle it. We have the Empress. So really, you know, you, I don't chase, I attract. Both of you meant to be nurturing yourselves right now. And we have the Lovers. Just as I was about to say, you could resonate with divine counterparts. We do have the Swan. We do have the Four of Wands. And now we have the Lovers here. The two foxes. So you and this person could have come together before. You and this person could have come together when you were unsure of your own identities, is what I'm hearing. All right, so the Empress and the Lovers on the bottom. Wow. And we have the Ace of Wands, and I mentioned the Ace of Wands when I was talking about the Firefly. All right. I feel the need to keep this balanced because of the energy of this reading, so I just want to make sure it's in perfect balance. So let's look at you. We have, I'm going to take the one I saw. We have Discovery. We also have the Hierophant. So Discovery is about, you know, discovering things about yourself. It's about focusing on your own healing, maybe discovering some of your gifts. And the Star card actually shows that Star and the jar has been smashed. So again, there could still be some things that you need to look at here that you need to heal, or things you like resentments you need to release and let out of that jar. We've got the Lovers on the bottom, and in this deck there's two Lovers and two Devil cards. And this, I hope you can see this clearly, this Lovers card to me speaks of self-love. So discovering self-love for yourself, loving yourself enough to look at your shadows and your self-sabotaging behaviors, choosing, you know, to focus on yourself, tapping into that self-love. Very nice. And we have the Moon. So you could resonate with divine feminine. I just want to see how you're feeling about this person. How are you feeling about this person? We have the King of Wands, and look at the Fox. So clearly you know, you feel passion towards this person. I feel like you do want them to take control of this situation. And we have the Ten of Cups in reverse for how you feel about this person. Disharmony. For those of you looking for signs, this always to me looks like a weed leaf. But we have, you know, ducks on there as well. So for how you feel about this person, Ten of Cups in reverse. So again, clearly there's still some disharmony here. Oh, the King of Wands also. The King of Wands, the shadow attributes of the King of Wands always reminds me of someone who puts everything that they prioritize what they want to do. It's very like self-focused, maybe a little bit self-absorbed. I want to do what I want to do. The King of Wands shadows always make me think of like someone who wants to prioritize their hobbies, their job, their passion over a connection. So Ten of Cups reversed, unhappiness, separation, disharmony, isolation. And this is how you feel about them. External forces affecting the relationship, possibly meddling relatives. So family could be a thing. And, you know, a short-lived romance. So it feels like you and this person came together and then quickly separated. And you could be struggling to see the positives in this, or struggling to have hope for this is what I'm hearing. But yeah, disharmony, isolation, separation for how you're feeling about this person. All right, let's see your person's energy. We have the Six of Swords, a period of transition. That's good. So maybe your person is moving or changing jobs, but they're moving into calmer waters. That's good. That's good. So they're transitioning out of that Five of Swords. Oh, there could be something they're releasing. As I let out a big old sneeze. But Six of Swords. Froggy in my throat, releasing, cleansing, healing. Distance, accepting lessons, the Six of Swords. So they're accepting lessons. Transition, change, but also holding on to the past. So they are still holding on to their past. And one thing I am hearing with the Beaver and the Four of Wands in reverse and the Six of Swords is your person, like if they lived with a family member or they lived with someone, there is something here about them moving or they're like transitioning jobs or living situations. It also talks about spending time alone, and they may be feeling separation anxiety. So they could be feeling the anxiety of this separation as well. Six of Swords. But again, it feels like this is a time for your person to be alone, just like I think that you're meant to be focusing on yourself right now. And we have the Seven of Cups. So we have this person, you know, transitioning out of a state of confusion. There's something about your person that they had a lot going on. Seven of Cups, like a lot of things going on, a lot of other responsibilities, and that's what they're transitioning out of. There's a lot of foxes coming out on your person's side, I'm just going to say. So let's see how they're feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? Good. This is good. We have the Knight of Swords, so they are feeling quite impulsive. They could be feeling the impulsive urge to talk to you. I also feel, you know, maybe for how they feel about you, there could have been some intense arguments here, especially with the fire ant being on your side. But look, we've got the Three of Swords in reverse. So they are wanting forgiveness. They are wanting to make amends. It's the energy of reconciliation. We have Judgment, an awakening. So for how they feel about you, whatever happened between the two of you, it's causing them to go within and self-reflect. And there's a little crack in that mirror. That is the energy of like wanting a renewal, wanting a resurrection. Five of Swords in reverse on the bottom. So there's a lot of energy of them wanting to make amends for something that happened between you. And again, the Knight of Swords, there could have been impulsive words spoken between the two of you. Especially with the fire ant, like this person could have said some not so nice things to you. But that's awakening energy, which I really like. Self-evaluation. So something you said, I feel they're reflecting on right now, or they're reflecting on how to make amends with you, how to make this right. That's good. All right. So let's look at their intentions towards you. I didn't mention it. That's too many. I'm going to take that one. We have Ace of Cups. So there is, the intention here is love, renewal. Oh my gosh, we have the Emperor on the bottom. So their intentions do seem to take control of this situation, but their intentions are to stabilize in their own energy before coming towards you with this offer of love, is what I'm seeing. Anyway, I don't think I ever said it, but my intentions were, what is the potential future of this connection? That's what I was hearing when I felt called to do a reading. So what is the potential future of this connection? So I want to see, what do I want to look at here? Let's look at what you can focus on right now. So what can you focus on right now? Five of Swords in reverse. So that's another, I've already read you the Five of Swords in reverse. I don't need to go over that again. I've already given you that advice. I've already given you that advice. And the Hermit. So your advice, focus on self-reflection right now. Focus on your journey. Focus on the healing you need to do. The Hermit, focus on, like, don't rush this period of isolation is what I'm hearing. We'll just look in my book. So focus on self-reflection, focus on introspection, focus on solitude, search for self. Never be afraid to take this chance, like never be afraid of this alone time. Right now, it looks like you need to be alone. Never be afraid to take this chance to reflect, as it could help you clear your mind of all the clutter that comes with everyday life. So don't be afraid of this Hermit energy. And a lonely wanderer on the path of light, he searches for that which can only be gained with long periods of solitude, the inner voice. So focus on tapping into your inner knowing right now, into your inner voice. Letting go of, overthinking and being stuck in your head about this. And I'll just touch base on the Five of Swords in reverse again in case you fell asleep during the beginning of this reading. So focus on releasing, I already said it. Focus on releasing the things you're stewing about. Write it down. And be patient with yourself and focus on taking small, consistent steps in the direction you are hoping to go towards. So baby steps. And reflecting on your own self-sabotaging behaviors, thoughts, limited beliefs. All right? And let's see what your person is going to focus on. What is your person going to focus on? What is your person focusing on? The Hierophant, spiritual evolution and growth. So your person is focusing on their stability, Ace of Pentacles, feeling more secure, and Four of Cups in reverse, focusing on clarity and awareness. Remember I said they're transitioning out of Seven of Cups, which is where they don't have clarity and awareness. So right now, while you focus on that, your person is focusing on having clarity and awareness about their own stability. And there's something about them moving or a new job on their side. So right now, your person focusing on new opportunities, security, stability, manifestation. How they can show up, what they need to do to be in how can I put this? The Four of Cups in reverse combined with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like this person is focusing on how they need to give more if they want a steady connection. This is very positive. So they're focusing on clarity, awareness, acceptance, learning how to choose negativity. No. Why did I say that? Learning how to choose happiness over, like, I'm hearing substances, over surface level friendships, over work. They're learning how to choose happiness. That's what they're focusing on right now. And new understanding of love. That's nice. All right. So let's look. I do want to see what their actions will be towards you in the future, but it feels like this one needs some time. But let's look at their future actions towards you. And just remember, it has to happen in divine timing. Remember that. We have the devil. I need to confirm that one. I need to confirm that one. Let's look at their actions. Can we confirm that devil card? For actions, we have the Two of Cups. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes perfect sense. So, remember how I said this is going to take some time? We have tend with the devil. So this is someone who will take action once they tend to their shadows, once they spend time hermiting. This card also reminds me of the Hermit, the Tend card, but we have the Hermit here. So it looks like action will come after they have their awakening, after they go through their period of self-reflection and soul searching and being alone and tending to their shadows. We do see them coming out of no contact or separation here with the Eight of Swords in reverse. Once they have a new perspective and they're not in that lower vibrational energy, that's when they're going to take action. They could also be taking, no, Spirit said that's not the message, so I'm not even going to say it. But we also have the Two of Cups here. And this card always reminds me of, this is about balance and reciprocity. But the way that this blue bird is offering that berry, I feel like this person, once they, are not so self-focused and in that lower vibrational energy, once they have a new perspective of this and they know how to give to this connection and they're choosing their happiness, that's when they'll come in. Two of Cups, having an open and honest, heartfelt conversation with you about the things they've been reflecting on and about the things that they've been healing with the Hermit. And once they release those self-limiting beliefs that keep them stuck, their own self-sabotaging behaviors that keep them stuck, there's an honest and heartfelt conversation. So let's look at the potential future of this connection, please, Spirit. Potential. Dramatic. Much. That's, yes. So we've got the Five of Cups in reverse over there, which is about healing past wounds. It can be about making amends, releasing, the past. But we've got the Eight of Pentacles, which shows someone, this shows dedication, this shows commitment, this is renewal energy. And we've got the Four of Swords in reverse, release from isolation. So that's good. And we have the Sun, the happiest card in the deck. So just let Spirit do its thing. So we do have the Five of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups. Which the Knight of Cups in this sense gives me rekindling energy, and following intuition, because the Knight of Cups follows her intuition no matter what. But Five of Cups, actually, this could be about them releasing. This could be about them releasing their own, leaving their Knight of Cups energy in the past. So, and I'm not talking about, I'm very like, I'm trying to get my words out about the Knight of Cups because it really depends on the reading. But for me, the Knight of Cups does talk about the Knight of Cups follows their intuition no matter what. And the Knight of Cups also talks about rekindling a past connection. But the Knight of Cups can also symbolize someone who, you know, can be a little self-focused, a little bit more worried about their own cup. But the fact that it came out with the Five of Cups, I feel like this is what they're releasing. And Eight of Pentacles shows them being dedicated to this relationship and releasing themselves from isolation. So that's really good. All right. So let's get you some channeled messages from this person, just a few. Hello, you. What? We have apology. Where did that come from? Apology. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I miss us. And in their feelings for you, they are thinking about this apology. And I believe the Star card talked about the apology as well. The name Brad could be symbolic. That is so, I love when that happens. That's magic. I love when that happens. That was magical. Reciprocity. I want to have equal give and take. All right. So channeled messages from your person. Reflection. Being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. It will. It definitely will. Forgiveness. So apology, forgiveness, and we have confusion, which is what they're transitioning out of. Seven of Cups, or Six of Swords, Seven of Cups. They're transitioning out of this confusion. It also says, I feel unclear about where we stand. So this person feels uncertainty about, you know, if you would forgive them. We have ego. I let my pride get in the way of our connection. We have unexpected outcome. Things didn't go the way I planned. So this person maybe thought they could just forget about you is what I'm hearing. We have damage. We are both hurting from this. And, you know, you've got the fire ants. So clearly something happened here in the past that was quite painful. What does this person want to say to you? Unappreciated. I felt like you didn't care. Whenever that card comes out, it's like, I feel like that's you. I feel like you felt unappreciated by this person. We have holding back. I should have expressed myself better. I mean, maybe this person, projection, maybe they did think you didn't care about them. We have conversation. I want to call and hear your voice. Let's get two more. We have neglected. That's exactly what I mean. Neglected. I failed to give you what you need. We have unworthy. You're a better person than I am. And we have missed opportunity. I didn't act when I should have. So my friends, I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.